Crash 4, It's About Time walkthrough. We are in level 1, 2, 3, 4. Level 4 of the game. Although that ordering is going to get extremely incorrect as we go on, because there's going to be a bunch of reasons to not play the levels in order. We're going to unlock side levels, and right there we just got a retro level. So I'm not going to be recording all the retro levels because they are what they sound like. They're levels of older Crash games. And ironically, they are all significantly easier than the unlocks, or than what you have to do to unlock them in this game. So the first one is given to you early, and it's right away, there it is, it's your first VHS tape. That's where you're going to get whatever level that'll be from one of the earlier 3 games. And the later ones, and the later levels, you only unlock them if you get to them in the level without dying. Some of them are pretty early and it's not too difficult to do that, but some of them are really late, especially in the harder levels, and you have to complete a large portion of that really hard level without dying to unlock them. So if your goal is to 100% this game, which I would call you crazy, but hey, if you want to try it, then if you are trying to complete, then when you do try to complete each level with a maximum of 3 deaths, that would probably be the most reasonable, holy cow, time to try to get those retro throwback levels. But for the purposes of this walkthrough, I'm not really going to be recording any of them. I have recorded the previous 3 Crash games before, so if you're interested in those, you can find those playlists on my channel. And of course, I just love Crash in general anyway, so go watch them. They're a lot of fun. And then we are going to just be moving on with this level for now, I guess. This is a lot of fire, a lot of spinning platforms, and we do get the Tiki from time to time. He's just like in the previous games. You can find him in a box, or we can get him after we die too much, and the game feels pity on us and rewards us with something that lets us take an extra hit or 2 before we die. I don't know if the Invincible Tikis in this game. I've never had 3 Tikis, so I don't know if that's a thing in this game, but even in the earlier ones, that almost never happened for me. Like, the only time I ever got the Invincible Tiki was very early on when they were showing to you, hey, you can get an invincibility, you can get temporary invincibility in this game if you stack up 3 Tikis. I've never been in a position where I could stack up 3 of them in this one, so I don't even know if it is a thing in this game. The other strange thing about this game too is that it will sometimes give you pity checkpoints, and that's just something that kind of bugs me. So it's like if the distance between one checkpoint and the next is really long, and most of them are, and then you die a bunch of times, the game will sometimes spawn a checkpoint between the first and the second checkpoint, and that way you now have 3 checkpoints and it's just closer. So it's nicer, sorta, but it's also just sorta like that annoying thing to me when the game recognizes that you're failing a lot and it thinks you need help, and it's just like, dang it, let me do it, I can do it just fine. But there's really nothing you can do. I don't think you can turn that off, so I guess it's just something you want to abuse. On top of that, there are 2 modes to play this game. One of them is retro mode, that is where you have lives, and if you run out of lives, you go back to the beginning of the level. That's how I played this game for the vast majority, actually completely until the end of it, but I didn't do any of the side levels or the extra stuff in retro mode, and that's mostly just because, as I said in previous videos, this game is really long compared to the previous Crash games, so it's really brutal if you're stuck on one part and you die literally 20 times, and then you have to repeat the whole level if you get a game over. And on top of that, it's just, I don't know, this game didn't really feel like it needed to be played like that, so I don't really mind turning it onto modern and probably scrub mode, which is just where you have unlimited lives and you just continue and try until you finish it. So we are going to be doing it the life with lives on for a long time, but eventually they will get turned off. I'll be going into a pansy little modern mode just to keep my sanity, because some of the later levels, oh dear goodness. For now, they aren't exactly easy. I'd say they are definitely ramping up in difficulty, and it's just stuff that you have to go a little bit slow. Don't rush, and especially when you're having to swap these platforms around. This part right here took me, I think, like 4 or 5 tries, and I was trying to get all the boxes. It was at this point I could not decide if I wanted to 100% this game or not, so I kept trying to go for most of the boxes, even if I wouldn't get all of them, just so I would know where they are when I repeat the level. And for this one, there's like a really odd, I think that's originally a 1-up, there's a really odd box up there. And it just took me a couple of tries to figure out this place. And then it also took me a few tries trying to figure out how I can fall down this far successfully. There's a platform that you can't really see below that one that we can use to come back over here. And then we just gotta swap them in and out of reality like we were before. Still missed a couple of boxes, but that's okay. And that'll be it for this video.